Welcome to SDS SuperCoach, providing SuperCoach content for you. I'm here to present my video on how I'm going to finalize my SuperCoach team. So I think I've sort of given it a lot of thought today. I had work today, but there was a little bit of a bland time at work. So I spent a little bit of time on my own and sorting out what my sort of game plan is on how I'm going to finalize the side. So I think I've got a plan and I think I'm going to try to stick with it. A couple of things need to go in my favor. Some of this, remember this part of this game is luck. Like the Joe Richards situation was the perfect example. If you went Fraser over Richards, you're laughing. But if you went Richards over Fraser, then you're obviously in a not as good position. So yeah, I'm just going to talk about how I'm going to finalize my side. So let's get into the team. I sit just inside the top 8K, and my overall plan is to hopefully get into the top 1%. If I get into the top 1%, I'm honestly super stoked with that. Don't think it's going to be a top 1K finish for me this year like it was last year, but hopefully this sort of plan can get me in the best position possible. So yeah, just going to talk about it. So look, no two ways around it. I may as well just show you. These will be my trades, very likely. Wilson or Goulden's locked in. Gray could be Dawson if Dawson is picked again this week. But with all of Richmond's injuries, I think Campbell Grace could come in straight away. And he's a bloke from the mid-season draft, 102K defender forward bloke. Could play a few games, but that's not really the purpose of him coming in. He's a 102K defender forward, which will help as a loophole going forward. And then Hugo Garcia. So I think I'm gonna move him on because I just don't see how he comes back in the side. I mean, Brad Crouch is a week or two away from coming in as well, so that's another position where he's behind. So yeah, I think I've lost patience. Unless he's picked this week, I think we're done with Garcia. So and by the way, just remember, guys, it is a very long round this week. So we'll probably have SuperCoach update at about 7:30, 8 o'clock. So on the Monday night. So it is a very long round. This is also the very last round of the Thursday night games, which is a bit sad. But as you can see going forward, it is just Friday night games from here, which um I mean from I prefer Thursday night games being here. I don't I wouldn't have Thursday nights every round. Like for example, I think this round it's a bit weird to have a Thursday night game when you're gonna have a Monday game, and it's like same with Anzac Day, that sort of thing. Was it sorry, Anzac round, was it this one? No, round 7, I believe. Anyway, you get my idea. Like that's just a personal opinion. That was anyway. Sorry, I thought Anzac Day was on a Monday for some reason. Anyway, getting into a bit of a tangent there, but yeah, I will talk about how I'm finalising my team. So Goulden's coming in for Wilson. I think that's locked in. And as I said, Campbell Gray will probably come in, unless maybe Dawson's name, but I think he's a guy where I'm just saving 15K at this point. My cash gen isn't amazing. So I'm not going to be able to have the luxury like in the previous 2 years of just being able to get who I want and then get a 23rd and then we're laughing. This year I'm going to have to get a little bit more creative. There is one guy in particular that I'm not going to have in my side. Well, I won't hold you guys out on it. It's Zach Merritt. So the only way I'm going to get Zach Merritt is if one of these Premo mids get injured. So as you can see here, the midfield is done. Bont, Dawson, Rao, Walsh, Goulden, Green, Butters, and Sarong. As I said, I would really like to have Zach Merritt in there. I know he hasn't set the world on fire, but you can bank on his durability. Don't recall the last time he's been injured, so yeah, it's a bit of a shame that and I love watching Zach Merritt as well. I don't like Essendon as a football club, but I can respect Zach Merritt as a player, and he's just such a great player to watch. So, bit disappointed I can't get him, but it's just sort of how the cookies crumbled with my side. Can't fit him in. Gordon English, I'm happy to back them in. Then, as you can see here, Heaney, Zorko, Flanders, Fisher, and then you got Jackson here just sitting in the corner. And then the back line is Dacos, Sheasel, Ryan, and Young for now. So as you can see, we're 3 Primos away from our side being done, and that will require 11 trades to get that done. So 1 up, 1 down will get us down to 5 trades. Potentially a 23rd can get us down to 3 trades, but with the 23rd Primo sort of guy, I'll get into that in a sec. So it's that sort of thing. And then trading out Garcia, I mean, I'll talk about why I'll keep Richards ahead of Garcia, but all right. So I've sort of written down on my little, just printed out a piece of paper at work and just sort of written everything. So I need 2 defender primos and I need 1 forward primo. So the blokes I'm going to trade out over the next few weeks. So before I get into this, I may as well just say as well that I personally think if you can target heading into round 16, that your team is locked in. So that is heading into the first week of bye rounds being done. So if we're heading into round 13 now, 14, 15, 16, heading into this round, if possible, your side should be done. And I think, yeah, so we've got heading to round 13, heading to round 14, heading to round 15, heading to round 16. So we got basically got a month to settle our sides. So, yeah, so the players I'm looking to trade. Oh, yeah, also don't rush to finish your side. I mean, if it takes you till round 17, it's not the end of the world, that sort of thing. But ideally, that's when you want to finish your side. So that's when you really start to look at, right, how many upgrades do I need to do? How many trades have I got left? That sort of thing. So I've got 3 more upgrades after this week. So, I mean, ideally you go 14, 15, 16, but there might be a world where I don't upgrade this week, but it might be 2 in round 15 and then 1 in round 16. We'll just see how some of this comes into team selection. Bit of luck as well. So 2 defensive primos and 1 forward primo. The players I am looking to trade out will be Ollie Dempsey, who has somewhat reset his cash gen, so that is good. Maybe a guy I could look at trading at heading into round 16 because unfortunately he's got the bye next week. That's really frustrating. If he had the round 15 bye, then we'd be able to trade him out. But I don't know. That extra cash gen could come in handy massively with finalizing my plans. So Ollie Dempsey's going to go. I was thinking of keeping him as cover, which is actually interesting, but maybe I could think about this instead of getting a 23rd, but I think his cash gen's probably too important to pass up. Joel Frazier, so he is playing 2 more games, I believe, and then he has to go. So he'll roughly be at, if he scores 62, he'll get a 277. That's all right. That's about 100K made off of him. So that's not too bad. He's scoring just fine at the minute. McAuliffe, I brought him in at his bye round in round 6, so it wasn't looking good. It wasn't looking good, but he sort of saved himself, got back into the side, and he's now starting to make a bit of money. So what's he already made? My face cam's in the way. 122K. This is already a win. But yeah, we just got to eke out as much money as we can. Probably hold on to him for another 2 weeks and trade him at round 15. So he's another one there. Lockie Sullivan's another. So he's at 253 again. This has been a win. Also been a win if you went Bruce Revel as well, but he's another one I'm going to trade out at around 15. So he's got 2 more games. So yeah, maybe three trades in round 15. That's probably looking likely because we got Sullivan, McAuliffe, and Frazier, 3 guys that have the round 15 bye. So probably look to ship them off then. So that's how it's looking. So a couple more price rises, a couple of 70s, and he'll get to 300K. So could make another 50K, which would be clutch. Sam Closey and Will Graham. So these two are on a very different side of things. Closey has made his money, he's actually dropping in money. I'm sort of hoping he can go right against the Saints, just make a tiny bit more of the money he's lost back. Then Will Graham, just hope he gets named. But to be honest, I don't really care. I mean, I do care. I mean, I need the extra body on field this week, so that sort of thing. So yeah, those are the 6 guys I'm looking to trade out. So they'll put me on 5 trades. I will get into my other plans, don't you worry. Now trading in, we need a defender mid rookie to slot into the this midfield bench. So as you know, Rogers is dead, so he's just going to stay there. I'll tell you about my potential plan later. So we need a mid defender rookie. Slotting here could be anyone that's made their debut. Ideally, a 102K guy. The cheaper the better, really. We need a mid forward rookie to slot into our midfield, just so we have that loop going. So we need a mid forward rookie as well to swing into there. Billy Dowling is making his debut for the Crows. Could be him. We need a forward. I mean, we just need a forward rookie. I don't really mind. Just whatever we'll do there. Whoever's playing, that sort of thing. As I said, with the other 2 rookies, the cheaper the better, to be honest. Then, so the 3 Primos. Let's talk about that. So one to absolutely lock in as a guy I definitely want is Dan Houston from the Power. So 566K, the 152 break even is clutch. Not going to bring him in after his buy because money is just so important for me right now. So ideally, I mean, just a couple of low 90s and I can pick him up potentially at 540K, 530K, that sort of thing. So he could even get cheaper than that. So ideally pick up Houston around then. Then the forward Premo, ideally it's Isaac Rankin. So they're 2 guys I've really narrowed in on as guys that I want. The problem with Rankin is though, so he's coming back, so he won't play this week. He's got a 52 break even. So I'm hoping, so if he comes back so the problem I'm going to say is that with that 52 break even, a score of 99 gets him up 21K. So ideally, we're going to have to bring him in right as soon as he comes back. So I think that's what we'll have to adjust with. It doesn't sit well with me that bring in a bloke right after a hamstring, but it's just sort of the situation we're in here. I think he is a step above the rest of the other forward options: Kerno, Moore, McRae, Bolton, that sort of type, you name it. So I'm looking at Rankin, and I'm doing what I can to get those 2 into my side. Now, the one thing is this other defender Premo spot. So I don't really know I still don't know who to go with here. I don't think I can afford Jordan Clark. So that's frustrating. What's his break even? Yeah, 74. I don't think I can afford him. So he is a pass, I think, for me this season. I've already got enough Freo players, but whatever. I mean, let's just have a quick look at the defender options on who we could go with here. So, yeah, Ridley, not for me. People can go there if they like, but he's just burnt me too many times, and I don't think the role's that much better. Houston, yep, definitely lock him in. Definitely want him in. Around 15, something like that. Jeremy McGovern, I'm gonna pass just because I don't think his body can hold up for an entire season. You can go there if you like, but I just think I just can't trust that body at 32 years of age. But he's top 6 when he's healthy. Jordan Clark can't afford. Elliot Yeo, after that groin injury, he's a pass for me. Max Holmes is very interesting. But yeah, I had to get onto him a bit earlier. I think the ship has sailed for me getting him. Now we've got a couple of interesting options here. So we're going to start off with Nick Martin. Now I have been saying the past couple of weeks, I think I'll just avoid this. But I mean, at the minute, like, what's his break even? 129. He won't get that. I mean, I could just pick him up after his bye. I know I know I'd rather bet against this, but I think I might just grab him because like he's at good value. Like I think he can do better than that. I'm not asking miracles out of Nick Martin. I'm just asking for for him to be around the market top 6, to be honest. And I know maybe I could go a pod. Like, that's the thing. Like, I'd probably prefer to go after a Max Holmes or a Wanganeen Miller. Nick Blakey, he's interesting, but I don't know. We'll see. What's his break even? 98. Yeah, we can wait a week on that and decide if we want to go Blakey over Martin, maybe. But Nick Martin's going to get down to like cheap low 500s the way it's going at the minute. And sometimes you just got to look for value. I know he's a butcher. I know he's a pain in the ass to own, but he can deliver some tons. He's got some nice matchups coming up on the run home as well, which I do like. So, yeah, I think, yeah, Nick Martin's on my radar for sure because of just that price. Blakey's interesting. I'll see how he holds up, but um, I mean, he scores all right, but I prefer Martin scoring, to be honest. Sinclair spent a year, I mean, spent most of the preseason on light duties due to that calf, so that's a pass for me. Already got Hayden Young. I guess I've already got my pod midfielder and my pod defender and Hayden Young. I know it says 18.4%, but barely any of the top 5% around my rank have Hayden Young, so I don't have to go a pod Premo defender here. Whitfield scares me too much. Bailey Dale's interesting. Probably not. Sicily, that shoulder concerns me too much. Hinge, don't have the cojones for that. Stewart's decent chance. Stewart's washed. Ed Richards is interesting. Playing midfield. Does liver affect that? I don't know. Nah, there's too much of this going on. I know he was projected at a good score there. I don't know. There might be a bit too much of this going on. But was he 543k? What buy does he have? What buy does Ed Richards have? Sorry, round 15. So 2 more scores. And he's coming back from concussion, so could be a guy, but I don't know. Aim on no, and then we're starting to head towards like really real dodgy territory. I know Brad's after Stephen May. I don't mind him as a pod. I'm not going to go there, but Brad is a very smart man, so go for it, mate. So yeah, that's sort of the theory. So look, at the minute, I'm probably going to edge towards. So I'm definitely going Houston, but definitely going to edge towards Nick Martin. But certainly, I think Wanganeen Miller is a bit out of reach now. Certainly going to side with Martin for the time being, but blokes like Blakey, Dale, and Ed Richards are certainly guys I'm keeping my eye on as well. So yeah, look, so they're my targets at the minute. So they're my 3 main targets. So ideally, I don't want to like Rankin wants to be. I want Rankin to be my most expensive Premo from here on out. From here on out, hopefully Houston can drop to like that 540, 530k range. So I mean, ideally, I'm even looking to get in Houston and Martin in the same week. So might be a week next week where we just sort of take a chill pill with upgrading the side, which might hurt me in the short term, but in the long run, I can then get in Houston and Martin, and then I look to get. I mean, this is if Rankin isn't named in round 14. If he's named in round 16, then that's sort of the play I'll go with. If not, I'll have to grab Rankin straight away just before his bye, which I don't like. But go after Rankin, and then maybe grab one of Martin and Houston, and then the other the week after, that sort of thing. So we'll just see how that goes. All right, what else do I want to talk about? I think that's sort of my plan, really. I think I've just told you. So basically, what will change here? So Closey and Graham will go. Hall will stay on my D8 bench for the year. Gray will be on my D7 bench for the year. Yep. Sullivan will go. McAuliffe will go. Rogers will stay there. Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't talk about my other plan. So you guys are probably thinking, where's the 23rd guy? So my theory is What's Richard's break even? 37. So he's still got a lot of money to make when he comes back into the side. So this is where team selection comes into play. I'm really going to have to bank on Richards not being too far away from after his injury, because Collingwood are dealing with a lot of injuries. I hope Richards has done enough to go, hey, we can probably slot you straight back in. He can have 2 or 3 price rises, and maybe if he comes back in round 16, that's really sort of hoping 16, 17. If I can have a block of no injuries or suspensions, 1 week suspensions, 1 week injuries over the first 3 or 4 weeks of a finalized side, then I can ideally package Richards and Rogers to get a Premo, a 23rd guy for the run home. Now, what type of premium am I looking for? It's going to be a mid forward. Now, Rosie is so tempting. If you had DPP, I'd absolutely jump on, but I want to prioritize the versatility of the side. So that's why I'm looking at a defender the mid forward. I've already got the ruck forwards thing, and then I've got a defender forward situation going on here. So I'm looking for a mid forward. So basically a 7th forward. So who would that guy be? It depends on the price, because, as I said, it really depends on how much money Richards can make getting back into the side. Maybe Rogers can make a little bit, but he's probably dead. So purely depend on that. And there are always points in the year where certain players get really cheap. So I'm going to bank on that. So I couldn't really tell you who in round 18, that sort of thing, 18, 19, on how cheap they're going to get. So I couldn't tell you. So, I mean, who would that? I don't really know. Like, let's have a look at the forwards. I mean, it just depends on how cheap a player can get. Could look at a Neil Bullen's playing a little bit of midfield, I've noticed. Could it be a Lipinski? That sort of thing. So, like, just a 23rd guy. Could Harley Reid get really cheap when he comes back from suspension? Could could I go after Tom Powell and he loses a bit of money, but he then gets back that midfield role? It's that sort of thing. So it's not going to be pretty. If that plan really craps the bed, so like I get an injury or a suspension for 1 week in round 16, 17, one thing I could trade them, or another thing I could just look to package Richards and Rogers, get 100K out of Rogers and then go after that, and then just get some really dodgy guy. But I don't know. That's just sort of the theory here. I'm not going to get a 20. Rogers just made his money. My camera just froze there, so my computer's going a bit slow. So yeah, it's that sort of theory. It could totally backfire on me, but it's just the position I'm in at the minute from how I'm assessing things. So yeah, look, I think I explained that to you guys well. Leave any comments down below if you guys have any ideas or thoughts or any questions for me, that you want answered for yourself. Let's talk about just one more thing we'll quickly talk about, and that is, I don't think it's worth a video on its own, but I'll just quickly talk about leagues. So we're now starting to head into sort of the second half of the home and away of the leagues, depending on when you started your league. So look, we'll just have a look at this. My SuperCoach is struggling at the minute. So basically, I'll just quickly talk about leagues on how you can win your league against your mate, that sort of thing. I personally go for rank, but like, I can totally understand people that purely go for leagues, want bragging rights with their mates, that sort of thing. So let's just talk about leagues here. So a couple of tactics I would personally do if I went for leagues would be to gatekeep your trades, because we all know when 750 whenever the Thursday night game sets, you can see your unique players against your matchup. So I would gatekeep your trades until the absolute latest. You could even leave it for the last 5 minutes that sort of thing. Gatekeep your vice captain and captains as well. So just leave it on someone and switch. So like say for example, I'm vice captain Heaney into Dacos, but what I'm actually doing is going Walsh into Gordon, that sort of thing. So that's another one, and same with trades, but make sure you don't leave it till a player's locked out and you can't actually do them. So that sort of idea. You could, let's say you're third in the league and top has got these certain players, but that you want to get. You could look to, so like say for me, for example, say I'm third on a ladder in a league and person on top uh has merit and I don't have merit, I would find my way to get merit in because I feel like that would be a net loss for me. And I might like instead in my position I could have like a um I don't know, a Jason Horn-Francis, for example, where you might lose probably maybe on average 10 to 15 points a week on. So you could match that. You could certainly have a look at top spots, players that he doesn't have, and you can target them as unique matchups, and that could affect them, that sort of thing. So that's just a real quick way to win every week in a certain league that you guys are in. So yeah, so I think we'll end it there. Is there anything else I could talk about leagues? I mean, ideally, if you can get in the top 4 in a certain league, that'd be great because that just gives you a double chance. Because we know leagues in SuperCoach can cause curveballs here and there where, like, I've seen it so many times where fourth beats first just because maybe a player got injured or that sort of thing. If you can just make that top 4, it just makes it a bit easier to have a crack. So yeah, I think I'll leave it there, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoy the fun activity of finalizing your side. I do have a bit of fun with it, but we know that SuperCoach goes into a bit of a slump of momentum when we stop trading. So, and we don't really do much with our team, do we? We just sort of, what do we usually do in the last 8, 9 rounds of the season? We just go, all right, is there any injuries to my team? No. Is there any suspensions? No. Okay. Chuck a vice captain and captain on someone else, and I don't have to touch my SuperCoach team for the week. So we know it gets into those sort of periods. So enjoy SuperCoach while you can. Enjoy making trades while you can. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoy that fun. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Hope you're going well.